page, and then I'm going to get started. So today we're going to be talking about lessons from Delilah. I am not going to be in front of you guys long at all because I know that some of you may be at work, and Power Talk Tuesday is just a quick 30-minute power talk about something that God has placed on my heart to talk to you guys about. So today we have been in this series that has been amazing. I don't know about you, but I've been blessed with it. We have been in this series talking about lessons from the ladies, and I have been talking about some of the good that the ladies have done in the Bible. But this week I am going to actually be speaking on the ladies that have done some not so good things in the Bible. So the two ladies that I want to be talking about this week, so it is going to be today and on Thursday. So if you are not able to, like I say, subscribe, because you don't want to miss the message for it on Thursday. So today I'm going to be talking about Delilah, and on Thursday I will be talking about Jezebel. Now, I wanted to talk about Delilah first because there's a lot less in the Bible about Delilah, and there's a lot more about Jezebel. So I wanted to really take the time, this short period of time, to talk to you guys about Miss Delilah. So if you do not know the story, or if you do not know who Delilah is, you need to go and read the book of Judges. Chapter 16 is where the story of Samson and Delilah. So if you do not know the story of Samson, Samson was like the Hercules of the Bible. He was extremely strong, and God had given him strength, but he had a couple of issues. You know, he liked women. He was a drunk, but that did not disqualify him from having the strength that God gave him, but it did lead him to his destruction. So it's so important. You know, if I have any guys watching me, if God has blessed you with a gift, if God has blessed you with something in your life, make sure you align yourself with the right woman. Because if you do not align yourself with the right woman, then that woman can bring destruction into your life and not prosperity. Because the Bible does say when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. But also understand women can be destructive as well. Now, I'm a lady, but I'm going to tell you about us. There's some ladies that can be destructive as well. Toxic ways, probably because of their past, because of their own pride, because of their own goals that they want, that they'll walk over people, run over people, all kind of stuff, because they want what they want. And that is what Delilah did. Delilah wanted what she wanted, and so because she wanted what she wanted, she betrayed Samson, and she partnered with the enemy in order to be able to get what she wanted, which was silver. So I encourage you to go read the book of Judges, read the whole story of Samson and Delilah. I believe it's Judges chapter 16 is where it begins, and go read it, because I actually like Samson. Was one of my favorite stories in the Bible when I was a kid. So he is the Bible Hercules. So Delilah, okay. So where does Delilah come from? Who is Delilah? What does Delilah got to do with Samson? So like I said, Samson had a problem with women. So he fell in love with this woman named Delilah. Delilah was a Philistine. Okay, she was not an Israelite. She was not a person of God. She was not somebody that Samson should have been messing with in the first place. But Samson got himself cooped up with this woman. Samson fell in love with this woman, and this woman used her charm. This woman used her nagging, used all kind of ways to get Samson to give her his secrets. So that's one thing I want a lot of us to understand, men and women, not just men, but women as well. You need to be very careful who you align yourself with, because there are legacy builders and there are legacy destroyers. And legacy builders God sent legacy builders to help you build your legacy, to help you to carry your cross, to help you to support you in your dream. But the enemy sends legacy destroyers. The enemy sends people in your life because he knows what God has called you to be. He knows what you're meant to do. He knows the power that God has put inside of you. But what he will do is send people, especially your weaknesses. Now, it's not just people. Okay, your weaknesses doesn't have to necessarily be people. Your weaknesses could be shopping. Your weaknesses could be gambling. Your weaknesses could be drugs, alcohol, anything. Your weaknesses, the enemy will tap into your weaknesses to get you to use them against you. Just like Samson, the enemy used Delilah to get to Samson because Samson could not say no to women. So be very careful of your addictions. Be very careful of the things that you allow around you, the people that you allow around you, because when you are called to be, to do something, the enemy will send somebody to destroy you. And you and God may have a little secret. And if you tell the wrong person your secret, you could be educating your enemy. But let me keep going because I only have a couple of minutes with you guys today. Hi, Miss Davis. How are you? I pray that you are having a blessed day. So I'm going to give you guys 3 points today, just quick 3 points today on lessons from Delilah. My first point today is do not let the enemy use you to destroy your man. That's the first point. Do not allow the enemy to use you to destroy your man. Let's go to Judges 16:5. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, see if you can lure him into showing you the secrets of his great strength and how we can overpower him so we may tie him up and subdue him. Each one of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver. So the Philistines approached Delilah and told Delilah, we will pay you if you tell us, if you find out Samson's secret. Why is that important, Ataya? Because as a wife, as a woman, you are the closest thing to your husband. You're the closest thing to your man. And the enemy will use you to destroy him. I'm not saying you necessarily sitting down and making a deal with the devil, but you can be using his tactics and don't know that you're using them. And you're using them and you're destroying your husband, or you're setting him up to be destroyed. Ladies, you can either be a crown to your man or you can be rottenness to his bones. That's what the Bible says. That is in Proverbs. Proverbs 12:4. A wife is a noble character. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. So you have the power to make or break him. There's life and death in the power of your tongue. So if you are, the enemy will come to you before he comes to anybody else to get to your man. Just like in the Garden of Eden. The enemy did not go to Adam. The enemy went to Eve. Because he knew the influence that Eve had on Adam. The enemy went to Delilah because they knew that Delilah had an influence on Samson. Sometimes it's not about you, ladies. It's about your king. It's about your husband. He is called to do some amazing things. And the enemy knows that. And the enemy knows that as long as you are being the person that you are, as long as you are worried about your selfish ways, as long as you're worried about what you want and not what the relationship's about, then he can use you to stop your husband from stepping into his destiny. Women can push a man into his destiny. Yes, you can. That's why the Bible says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and favor in the Lord. He finds a good thing and favor in the Lord when he finds his wife. Delilah was approached and offered silver to find out Samson's weakness. I wonder how cheap are we sometimes when it comes to our relationships, and how cheap are we sometimes when it comes not only to our relationship with our husbands, but to our relationship with God. You know, anybody can come into our lives and distract us or get us away from who God is, or get us away from who our husband really is. Because sometimes, yes, he can be a good man, but he has problems too. And you got to ask yourself sometimes, how loyal are you? What kind of woman are you that if God gave you a good man that has a little bit of problems, are you gonna work with him, or are you gonna use his weaknesses against him? That is the question. Because if you look at the Bible, there was a lot of good, great men, but they had problems. Solomon liked his women. David liked his women, but God absolutely loved David. The love of money is the root of all evil. That's Timothy 6:10. The love of money is the root of all evil. And there are some women in marriages. Now, I'm not saying that you got married because of money, but you got this fantasy in your head. You're married to a really great person, but you have this fantasy in your head that because you ain't got no money, you're not happy. Because you're focused more on what you're lacking and you're not paying attention to what God has given you. You have a decent person. You have a really good man, but you want to be balling, shot calling, and showing off your what's that bag? That Berkeley bag? Y'all, I'm not a designer person like that, so I don't know. But you want to have all that. And because he cannot provide you with that, you're upset. You looking at what everybody else got. You looking at how Gucci Man buying his woman stuff. You looking at how Steve Harvey taking his wife to the trips. You looking at how Cardi B getting these cars and stuff. But you got to understand, you don't know what those women are going through in order to have those things. So you so focused on having the luxury, but you need to be paying attention on just having a really good person in your life that can pray for you and cover you. That's what you need to be focused on. Some of us use our husband's feelings against them. Woo! That's something crazy. Remember I say, the enemy will use you. Your husband, you got to understand that your husband will feel comfortable telling you things about himself. But if you don't have the right heart, you will take those things and use them against him. And when he sees that you are using it against him, then he will shut down. It is so important that you do not allow the way that you are to stop you from getting the vulnerability of your man. Because if you remember the story of Delilah, she had to ask him a bunch of times about his truth, about his secret. If you, and I want to throw this out here. I don't know why the Holy Spirit, but I want to throw this out here. If you got to keep begging a man to do something, keep begging a man to act a certain way, keep begging a man to do something, then you need to ask yourself if this really somebody that you want to be with. If you got to keep begging a person to do something, maybe that's just who they are and you can't change a person. So you need to make a decision to move. But a lot of you are like Delilah. You too focused on what you want. So you're going to keep on playing the game. You're going to keep on playing the game with them. Keep on playing with them. I'm going to tell you my secret. Oh, you going to tell me my secret? I'm going to tell you my secret. I'm going to tell you my secret. You keep playing the game. Instead of saying, this is a game, I'm not finna do this. I'm not finna put myself through this. I gotta go. But Delilah was so focused on what she wanted that she did not realize that she's playing a game. And there are men out there that will play games with you to get what you want. They won't play games with you. So be careful. Number 2, respect your husband's boundaries. Respect your husband's boundaries. Now, you heard what I just said. Delilah, she kept playing this game with Samson. She kept playing this game with him. She didn't want to leave him alone. Like, what's your secret? What's your secret? Because in back of her mind, she had an alternative motive. There was other stuff that she was trying to do. She wanted her silver. She wanted her silver. So she kept playing games with Samson. Some of you are with men and you want the relationship. You just want to say you married. You just want to say that you got somebody. So you're willing to play games with him just so you can say you have something. You're willing to continue to put yourself down, to degrade yourself just to say that you have something. Delilah was willing to destroy this man just to get silver. I'm not saying that you ladies are intentionally trying to destroy your men. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is the enemy can use you if you're not alert, if you're not of sober mind, if you're not practicing the fruits of the Spirit, if you're not having a solid relationship with God, then the enemy will use you. Because how can God use you if you don't have a relationship? Delilah was not an Israelite. She was a Philistine. So if you do not have a relationship with the Father, if you don't have a relationship with God, then who gonna use you? Who using you then? It's important that you have a relationship with God so that you can do what you need to do in order to help your man, not to destroy him. So our number 2 point is respect your husband's boundaries. God gave Samson his strength. It was a secret between Samson and God about his strength. Your husband does not have to tell you everything, ladies. Everything he does not mean that your husband has to tell you everything. And some of you are so obsessed with knowing everything that you start doing desperate things like Delilah. Delilah was so desperate to know Samson's secret that she started doing crazy things. Tying him up with new rope. Samson could actually play games with her because she was so desperate to know what he was up to, what he was doing. Some of you ladies, your husband can't have the phone on the table without you trying to see what's on his phone. He can't leave the house without you trying to figure out where he's going. You got tracking devices all over him. You need to stop. Sometimes God will give a man a word that's between your man and God. If you got a man of God and you trust that he's walking with God, you trust that he's with God, you trust that God is leading him, and he may seem like he's holding something, or it may seem like something is bothering him, don't nag him. That's what a lot of you do. You nag your man. What's wrong with you? Why you not talking to me? What's going on? Why you ain't around me? Why you don't want to be around? What's wrong with you? Why you ain't came home? Well, you just nagging him. Judges 16:16 says, with such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it. Delilah nagged Samson so much till he was sick of hearing her mouth. If your husband is holding something back and he does not want to tell you, respect his boundaries. He will tell you when he's ready to tell you. Maybe he need to talk to God about it. Maybe God done told him about something. You don't need to know everything, Eve. That's what's wrong with Eve. Eve wanted to know everything. She wanted to eat of the fruit so that she can have the knowledge of God, so that she can understand what was going on. Control. Ladies, y'all need to get in check your need for control. You cannot control everything. God is in control. And if you learn how to move out the way and let God do some things, you'll see some amazing things. like I said, if your man has a gift and he is called to do great things, do not make everything about you. It is about God. There will be days that that man will be busy. There will be days that you won't get all his time. There will be days where God may call him to do something somewhere else. But your job is to support him, and your job is to have your own. Your own. If you're so focused on him, what you doing? What you doing for yourself? It's idolatry to put all your faith, all your attention, all your love, all your everything into a man. That's idolatry, because God should be your number one source. God may call your husband to be a pastor, but he may just call you to be at the house with the kids. But you may have to be the secretary. You may have to make sure that his clothes is on point when he go out there. You may have to do other things. That doesn't mean that you're less important. That just means he needs you. You the oil that makes his wheel turn. So it's not about you. When God made Eve, he said, I will make man a suitable helpmate. A suitable helpmate. Are you a suitable helpmate? Or are you like Delilah? You too focused on your own agenda. A woman can make a man betray God. Let me be honest. Shouldn't be like that, but they can. Delilah did it. Eve did it. Job's wife didn't make him do it, but she had something to say. Toxic women can make a man, can cause a man to turn away. That's why it says a wife of noble character is a crown to her husband's head, but a bad one is rottenness to his bones. You nagging, you not respecting his boundaries, you all in his business, you can't even let this man breathe. Eventually, he's going to snap. Especially if he's not strong himself. Samson had a problem. Samson was not doing what he was supposed to be doing. He was with the Philistines. He was drinking. He was doing stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing. And he got cooped up with a woman that didn't have her stuff together. So instead of her helping him to be better, she fed into his weaknesses. Set your boundaries. You can set your boundaries with your husband, but respect his. It's so important that we do that. Don't manipulate your husband. Do not manipulate him. Delilah manipulated Samson. Women, like I said, women will do so. We will do, and men too. Let me just say that some men too. But we wife power. So ladies, we have a tendency when we don't get what we want to use manipulation. Y'all know Atai gonna keep it real with you. We will. In Judges 16 and 15, Delilah told Samson, how can you say you love me when you won't confide in me? This is the third time you have made a fool of me, and you haven't told me the secret of your great strength. Woo! How many of you have told your husband, he may be in the room by himself, or he may spend time alone, or he may like to go hang out with his friends, and you come in the house telling him, well, you must don't love me because you hanging with your friends. You must don't love me because you don't spend no time with me. You must don't love me because when you come home, you don't talk to me. No, that does not mean that he don't love you. It just means that he probably got something else on his mind, or he probably is trying to spend time with other people. You don't have to be the center of his life. It's okay for you to have friends. And you cannot use manipulation to get your husband to do what you want him to do. Stop it. Because just because he may be a man that just does not speak his feelings. Don't manipulate him into doing it. Because all you're doing is allowing the enemy, like number one, to use you against your man. Manipulation. Anything done through manipulation will not end up well. That is narcissistic type of tendencies. Let me just say that. When you use manipulation to get someone to do what you want them to do, that's toxic behavior. And I see so many women talk about men, but I see you too, ladies. You use your tears. You use your emotions. You use your traumas. You use all kinds of things to manipulate men to do what you want them to do. Stop it. God cannot work through you if you're manipulating your husband. You can't. He can't. If he don't want to talk, let the man go sit down somewhere and let him breathe. Let him know, baby, I'll be here when you come back. Honey, you ain't got to talk about me right now, but know that when you're ready to talk, I'm here. And you go about your business. Go cook him something. Go run him some bath water. You see something's bothering him, but don't be a nag. Be a helpmate. If your husband is distant, nagging, manipulation, demanding, and those are all the things that Delilah did. She did all those things. It will only distance that man from you. It will. You need to use the fruits of the spirit: love, patience, kindness, self-control. Those are the things you need to be using in order to get your husband to open up more. I always talk about pride. Always. Because pride is the number one reason why a lot of people break up. Why a lot of marriages break up. Because of pride. It's number one. My way or the highway. But it's not your way. It's God's way. And God tells us that through our actions, our husbands can be won over. So what kind of actions are you using? Are you manipulating, nagging, lying, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, all of those things? Are you doing those things? Or are you doing are you doing the things that God has told us to do? Love each other, be kind with each other, have self-control, be compassionate, forgiving, all of those things. Patience. That's how you're going to get him to open up to you. Because there's a reason why he closed down. There's a reason why he has his boundaries. And you trying to cross over his boundaries and be all up in his stuff, he's not going to like that. And you wouldn't like that either. Number 3, and then I'm done with you guys. Use your gifts to help him, not to destroy him. So really, really quickly. Number 1 was do not let the enemy use you to destroy your husband. Number 2, respect your husband's boundaries. And number 3, use your gifts to help him, not destroy him. Joshua 16:19 says, after putting him to sleep, this is Delilah doing this. After putting him to sleep on her lap, she called for someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair, and so began to subdue him, and his strength left him. I want to read that again. After putting him to sleep on her lap, he was comfortable. Y'all know how y'all can do it. Baby, come here. Come here, honey. Come here. Come here. You know, get your man to be just all up in here. You know how to get to him. You know his weaknesses. You know how to get to him. Every lady that has a man know how to get to her man. You know how to get to him. If you don't, then that ain't your man. But every woman knows how to get to her man. Delilah put him to sleep on her lap. Then she called for the enemy. And the enemy came and subdued him, and his strength left him. Samson felt safe with Delilah. She knew his secret. He finally had told her his secret. And instead of keeping his secrets, she told the enemy. I never want a woman to think that it's okay to be okay with abuse or be okay with your husband cheating on you or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are men out there that are really good men, but they have problems. And what we tend to do is we tend to go tell our family, we tend to go tell our friends, we tend to go tell everybody outside our marriage what is going on except for God. When you get married, weaknesses are revealed. I always say a marriage is a mirror, not a cover. It will reveal things in you. It will reveal things in your husband. When those things are revealed to you, your job is to go to God about them. So I'll give you a great example. If your husband has a lust issue, ladies, if this man has shown you multiple times, well, let me go, because the first time you should have done something. But let's just say he's shown you multiple times that he cannot control himself in that area. Your job is to set boundaries with him. What do your boundaries look like? Are your boundaries going to be, okay, if you do this again, I'm leaving? Is your boundaries going to be if you have a communication with this person again, I'm leaving? So here that I'm saying a boundary, but I'm also saying a consequence. I'm not just stating a boundary. Well, you don't need to talk to this woman no more. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. No. I would appreciate it if you did not speak to that woman again. And if you do, I'm leaving. That's a boundary. Now, while you're doing that, you need to also be praying to God because it's been revealed to you that he's got a lust issue. If your husband is an alcoholic, let's not do it infidelity. If your husband is an alcoholic, if he has a problem drinking a lot or doing drugs, you need to set boundaries with that person. This is why God just tells us not to even get cooped up with these people, get married to people like this. But if you are, you need to set boundaries with this person. They have a problem. Samson had a problem. You need to set boundaries with your husband. Let him know that his behavior is not going to be acceptable. And let him know what you're going to do if the behavior continues. Many of you are doing all of this talking, but you're not also telling them what the consequences are. You got to be very specific when you with toxic people. Very specific. Don't leave them a door open. Tell this person, I see that you have a problem. I see that you're dealing with something. I am willing to help you. I am willing to work with you, but you're going to have to be the one that put in the work. You're going to have to be the one that does what needs to be done. The secrets and the things that God reveals to you in your marriages are not meant for the world, unless God tells you. But they're not meant for you to be blabbing it to your mama, blabbing it to your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, whatever. You're talking about your husband to everybody. Everywhere you going, you talking bad about him, talking about what he got going on. Girl, the other night he came home drinking. Girl, the other night he came home this. Girl, the other night, I don't know what. You just spitting negativity everywhere. That's what Delilah was just telling the enemy. Told the enemy about Samson's weaknesses. You think you may be talking to a friend, and you could be talking to an enemy. You could be educating your enemy about your man. Ladies, please don't put it past folks that see how happy you are, see how wonderful your marriage is, and you out there telling folks about your man, telling folks about don't ever let people know when your home is not happy. Do not let the enemy know when your home is not happy. Keep your business to yourself and God. Find you a pastor, first lady, trusted friend to talk to, but most of your conversations need to be with the Lord. Stop telling the enemy your weaknesses. Stop telling the enemy your husband weaknesses. Stop it. You're educating. Learn how to keep some quiet faith. Have some quiet faith. Lord, I'm going through this. This man, he got this going on. He got this going on. But I trust you. I believe in you. I'm going to set these boundaries. I'm going to move in this way. I need you to direct me. I need you to give me the wisdom. I need you to tell me what to do, Lord. I am not going to stand here and let whatever happen to me. I'm going to do something about it. An addiction does not have to mess up your relationship. It does not. What you have to do is you have to take control of your life. Take control of the relationship. Look, if that person got to go get some help, if that person got to go to church, whatever we got to do to get you back in line, we're going to do it. But also don't be like Delilah and constantly playing games and games and games and games and games. And you see that this person ain't trying to do nothing. You got to learn how to say bye-bye and give people over to God. Samson needed a woman that was going to come in and tell him, we ain't doing this, sir. But instead, he got a woman that came in and was too focused about her own agenda. Don't be like that. Marriage is not about you. It's about God. It's about God getting the glory. It's about two imperfect people coming together, learning new things about each other, growing in God, and showing the world what it means to have an unconditional love. The same type of love that God has for us. Now, if you are connected with the wrong type of person, it's going to be difficult. Let me talk to the ladies that are married to men that don't walk with God like you do. I get this question a lot. I tell you, how can you, or how do you do it when he's acting this way or when he's doing this? How can I have peace? How can I still control myself? What am I supposed to be doing? Well, I mean, it's going to be difficult because you first aligned yourself with someone who does not know God. Samson was an Israelite, but Delilah was not. When you align yourself with someone that does not know God, you're going to have some problems. It's going to make it harder for you to be able to do the things that you're supposed to do. Now, I'm not saying it's going to make it impossible for you, but it is going to make it harder. But it will make you stronger. I promise you that. It will make you stronger. Because it will also teach you how to be able to reach people who don't know God like you do. That's what happened in my own marriage. My husband and I come from two different cultures. Two different cultures. So what I had to do, I couldn't just throw the Bible at him. That don't work. That did not work. Especially if they don't know God like you know God. They don't know the word like you know the word. Throwing the word at them, throwing the Bible at them. I did not say stop ministering to them. I did not say that. But what I'm saying is throwing the Bible at them and trying to use it, that's not going to work. You got to know how to work other ways. How to be able to talk to people who don't believe in the same thing you believe in. That's what Jesus. When Jesus came down here, he was around the sinners. He didn't go hang with the kings. He was around the sinners. The people that other folks didn't want to be around. He had to know how to connect with those kind of people. So maybe the person that God has you with, maybe he's trying to get you to learn how to touch the untouchable. Have you ever thought about that? It does not necessarily mean that God, it can't use your marriage. It just means that maybe he's trying to teach you, woman of God, how to reach the unreachable. Because if you can reach the person in your house, you can reach anybody. If the person in your house who does not know the Lord, you can help them to be able to get to know the Lord through your actions, through the way that you act, through the way that you are doing things, then understand that you can reach the masses. If you want a ministry and you're asking God to do some amazing things in your ministry, but you're treating your man like crap, husbands, men that are watching me, if you're asking God to do, I don't care how long you know God. I don't care. If you treating your spouse any kind of way, the Lord will not bless you. Your prayers hitting the ceiling, sir. Because you're favor in the house and you're not taking care of it. Ladies, you ask God to bless you with a king. He sends you a king, but you don't want to submit. You ask God to send you somebody. You ask God to all these things, but when he gives it to you, you let your agenda come in through the door. Don't be like Delilah. Don't let your temptations, your desperations, the things that your agendas make you, don't do that. Make you do things that you don't need to be doing. Don't do that. Because that's exactly what Miss Delilah did. And the last thing I don't know why the Lord is telling me to say this last point, but your family, because the Philistines came to Delilah. Your family, your friends, your people. Be cautious who you are around, because the enemy will use anyone to come up against God's plan. You may not know everything, but God is always orchestrating things. And if you learn how to stop not wanting control of things and let God take control of things, you'll be surprised what happens. Don't be a toxic person in your relationship. Work on yourself. So that way you'll be able to be a helpmate to your spouse and not like Delilah and be used to destroy him. A wife of noble character is a crown to her husband's head. But a bad one is rottenness to his bones. Love you guys. I stayed a little bit longer, but love you guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me for Power Talk Tuesday. I will see you guys on Thursday. If you have any questions, you guys know how to reach me. Y'all know how to find me. Please send me a inbox. Thank you so much. The Lord is absolutely amazing. I'm so honored just for everything that he's doing with Wife Power. You guys continue to pray for the ministry. Continue to pray for me. Continue to just put in the work that needs to be done in order to have the marriage, in order to have the life that you want to have. Because it's not easy. I'm on this journey with you guys as well. We all on this journey. We all on our own marathons. And I'm running mine. So I don't know everything, but I'm grateful to God because he convicts me before it convicts you. Trust me, the word convicts me before it convicts you. So when I'm studying, I'm reading these things, trust me, God is speaking to me and telling me, Ataya, that's some stuff that you need to be doing. So it's the same thing with you guys too. Love you guys much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a blessed the rest of your week. I'll see you guys on Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm going to be talking about Jezebel. Woo, man. Jezebel was a toxic queen. She was doing some stuff. So if you guys don't have nothing to do on Thursday, 7 p.m., join your girl for Wife Power Live. Love you guys with the love of Christ. Have a blessed rest of your evening.